The U.S. ranks 64th in income equality. That means we lag behind all the developed world and much of the underdeveloped in income equality. The ratio of CEO to worker pay in 1980, near the start of this class war, was 42 to 1. That put us in the company of the most unequal countries. Today, the ratio is 475 to 1, and it leaves us 10 times more unequal by this measure than any other country. Our nation's wealthiest 400 families now enjoy more wealth than the bottom 50% of our country's population. Since the recession began, 95% of all income growth has gone to the richest 1% of the population. In case you're wondering whether that last number means that inequality is growing faster over time, the answer is yes, and here's why. It's because inequality and political power are mutually reinforcing tendencies. The political offensive of the wealthy cause their incomes to go up. That makes them more politically powerful, leading to more wealth, and so on, in a growing snowball that becomes an avalanche of inequality. Let me leave it at that.
You can keep going if you want.
Let me sort of regain my time, because I want to make a counterpoint here. It's very simple.
It's like Congress.
Yeah. Let me say that income inequality does not concern me, and I'll tell you why. Because part of that is just because we have some people who are really, really rich. Right? That's a good thing. It doesn't bother me that Jeff Bezos and who's Elon Musk, did he pass him by? It doesn't bother me that people have created billions of dollars. And by the way, they created it. It did not exist. They brought it into existence and retained some of it. Now, it'd be great if everybody else got up with them, but I mean, you're going to have some people who are going to be poor. I mean, there's some people who are severely disabled, they have severe mental problems, they're drug addicts, and those people are never going to become wealthy until they, unless they have problems they can overcome. So income inequality itself is not a problem to me at all. Poverty is a problem. But if most of the people, if everybody in the world has enough to eat and a warm place to sleep, and they can get around and afford to give presents to their kids at Christmas or whatever holiday they celebrate, and they have they don't have to face any pressing needs, they're not living in crushing credit card debt or anything, then it doesn't bother me how rich the other people are. I don't care if we have trillionaires and quadrillionaires. If everybody has their needs met, and I don't think that income inequality causes people to have their needs unmet. In fact, I think it's, you can't have prosperity without inequality. There has to be rewards for the extra effort. So anyway, I'm rambling as I sometimes do, but.
Thank you for that. I think those are great points. I know we still have some time, so if any of you have any pressing things you want to say, you can say it, or we can end here.
Let me come back on the issue of inequality and whether it's a problem or not, just for a second. So here are the problems that I see with inequality. Inequality hurts a society's health. British epidemiologist Richard Wilkinson studied why some societies are healthier than others. And he found that what the healthiest societies have in common is not what they have. They don't have more income, education, or wealth. But what they have is more equitably shared. In fact, it turned out that not only disease, but a whole host of social problems, ranging from mental illness to drug use, are worse in unequal society. Wilkinson details the pernicious effects that inequality has: eroding trust, increasing anxiety, encouraging excessive consumption, lowering life expectancy, increasing mental illness, and on and on. The second problem with inequality is that it's bad for the economy. The distinguished economist and Nobel Prize winner Joseph Stiglitz has made this argument in his book, The Price of Inequality. Much of Stiglitz's book is devoted to demonstrating that excessive inequality amounts to sand in the gears of capitalism, creating volatility, fueling crises, undermining productivity, retarding growth. Just as discrimination results in the failure of a nation to make the best use of all its citizens, inequality, when it leads to inadequate schooling, housing, and neighborhood conditions for large numbers of people, acts in a similarly destructive fashion. Stiglitz summarizes by saying inequality leads to lower growth and less efficiency. Lack of opportunity means that its most valuable asset, its people, is not fully being used. And then finally, inequality kills the American dream. There's an article out there, it's kind of well known, and it's entitled, "The American Dream is Alive and Well in Finland." And it turns out that among developed countries, the US ranks rather low in intergenerational mobility. Contrary to popular opinion, Americans enjoy less upward mobility than citizens of German workers, have 1.5 times the mobility. Canada, 2.5 times. Denmark is 3 times more mobile. Norway, Finland, Sweden, and France, even France, are all more mobile societies than the United States. Of the countries included in the studies, the United States, once the home of the American dream, ranked near the bottom in upward mobility. I'll leave it at that.
All right, thank you for that, and thank you guys. This is the end of our episode. I hope you took something away from it. To the audience, thank you guys for coming. I truly appreciate you guys taking your time to be here, and we look forward to seeing you for our next episode. Thank you guys.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah.